Taurus. Let me open 2026 with one line that sounds a bit sharp, but it's true. This isn't the year where you just push a little more and everything magically gets fine. 2026 is like, if something is truly not okay, it won't let you pretend anymore. But don't worry, this isn't the year that throws you out of your comfort zone. This is the year you upgrade your comfort zone. Still stable, still solid, still slow and steady, but solid in a new way. Solid because you have a system, not solid because you're scared of change. And to get through the whole year, you only need to understand one thing. Taurus 2026 is an operating system upgrade, not a change your whole life overnight situation. More like changing your default way of living. Like when you've used your phone too long and it starts lagging, overheating, and filling up with junk apps. You don't need a brand new phone. You just clean it up, update the OS, turn off the stuff running in the background, and reinstall only the apps you actually need. Boom. Smooth again. Taurus has always been practical. You hate pointless change. You need a reason. You need results. You need to know, what do I get if I change this? And 2026 answers you straight. You change to feel lighter, to worry less, to have more choice, and to stop enduring things you've endured for way too long. Okay, now let's talk about Taurus 2026's OS. This year's operating system runs on three main pillars. Remember these three keywords and you're good. 1. Values. 2. Money. 3. Boundaries. Values are what you believe in, what matters to you, what you won't compromise on. Sometimes you think you already know your values, but honestly, you might be living off habit, other people's expectations or fear. 2026 will make you ask again, is the life I'm living actually aligned with what I believe? And the moment you start asking that, you stop getting dragged around. Money. Taurus hears money, and the eyes light up. But money in 2026 isn't just a number. It's safety. It's choice. It's being able to say no to what doesn't deserve you and still be okay. And the best part? 2026 doesn't demand flashy rich. It demands grown-up rich. Rich in systems. Meaning you have flow, you have backup, you know how to use money to upgrade your life, not to compensate for exhaustion. And boundaries? This is the biggest upgrade of all. Taurus is really good at staying. Staying in a relationship because it's familiar. Staying in a job because it's stable. Staying in a tired state because everyone's like that. 2026 ends that kind of staying. Not to take things away from you, but to stop you from draining yourself. And I want you to remember this line from the start, because it's basically the OS summary. Stability isn't standing still. Stability is knowing where you're going. A lot of Taurus stability looks like freezing, keeping everything the same because change feels risky. But 2026 teaches you a different kind of stability. System stability. You can change the environment, change the method, change your rhythm, and still be okay because your roots are strong. What are those roots? You know what you need to feel safe. You know where you want your life to go. And you stop selling yourself short just to keep things peaceful. Now, let's talk about the signs that your OS upgrade is actually working. It won't look like you suddenly become a brand new person. It looks like very normal, everyday things. You worry less at night. You snap less for no reason. You stop whispering, whatever, just to get through. You spend less money out of stress. You stay silent less just to endure. And you start choosing, based on, is this worth it? That's when the new OS starts running. But let's be real. When you update an OS, there's always a slightly uncomfortable phase. The old version was familiar. 2026 is the same. There will be moments where you feel different, and you're not used to it yet. Like you start wanting to be clearer in love, but you hesitate because you don't want conflict. You start wanting fairness at work, but you hesitate because you don't want to be judged. You start cutting a habit that exhausts you, and you feel empty because that habit used to be how you soothed yourself. But Taurus, That's a good sign. Because it means you're crossing a threshold from I can handle it to I deserve better. Let me paint it super clearly. 2026 is the year you delete the apps running in the background. So what are those background apps? 1. The just push a little more app. Taurus lives like that a lot. You think one more push and it'll be fine. But if you push forever, you forget. Some things don't need more effort, they need change. 2. The stay quiet to keep peace app. You don't like arguing. You don't like making things big. But staying quiet too long is self-disconnection. 2026 teaches you a new kind of peace. Peace doesn't come from silence. Peace comes from clarity. 3. The treat myself to survive app. When you're tired, you reward yourself. That's fine. But if rewards become your only way to cope, it pulls down your money, your health, and your mood. 2026 upgrades the way you care for yourself. Care through rhythm, not care through compensation. And here's the important part. This OS isn't some moral lecture like, don't do this, don't do that. This year's OS is a practical life blueprint for Taurus. If you do it, you feel the benefits immediately. Okay, here are the 3 setup questions, so you can install your OS properly, like setting up a new device. You don't have to answer right away. Just let them run in your head. Question 1. What in your life is fine, but doesn't make you happy anymore? Fine without happiness is a sign you're living on habit. 2026 will make you look right there. Question 2. What are you holding on to because it's right? And what are you holding on to because you're scared? Holding on because it's right nourishes you. Holding on because you're scared drains you. Seeing the difference changes your life. Question 3. If you could live a version of safe but not trapped, what would you change first? This is how you find the right turning point. You don't need to change everything. One correct change can be enough. A lot of Taurus people think, I can't change fast. But you don't need fast. You need correct. You're built for the long road. You win through consistency. And 2026 rewards that kind of winning. This year, everything revolves around one life skill. Redefining Taurus you trait. Redefine work. Am I building, or am I just enduring? Redefine money. Am I earning to live well, or earning just to worry less? Redefine love. Do I love to feel peace, or do I love to suffer? Redefine health. Do I care for myself to last, or do I only fix things after I crash? It sounds like a lot, but it's really one direction. I live by my values, not by autopilot. And when your OS runs right, something interesting happens. You become more attractive without trying so hard. Because Taurus charm isn't about sweet talk. It's about solidity. Solid people feel trustworthy. Opportunities trust them. Money flows easier. Love breathes easier. Okay, I'll close chunk 1 with a very Taurus, very practical line. 2026 won't force you to become someone else. 2026 only forces you to be kinder to yourself with a system. Kind by sleeping enough. Kind by being clear. Kind by not carrying everything. Kind by spending with intention. Kind by choosing what's worth it. If you're listening and thinking, wow, that's exactly it, congrats, your OS update has already started. In chunk 2, we'll talk about turning points. Smart pivots in 2026. The kind of pivot that changes everything without making you lose control. And how to pick the right pivot point so the whole year feels lighter. Okay, Taurus, in chunk 2 we're going straight into the part that feels both so good and kinda scary, pivoting. But let me calm you first. Taurus pivoting isn't random mood swings. Your pivot is intelligent. Change a few spine points and your whole system gets lighter. You don't need to demolish your life. You just need to pivot in the right place. And the biggest pivot in 2026 is this. You pivot out of I can tolerate it. Taurus often lives like, it's fine, I can handle it. The job is tolerable. The relationship is tolerable. The exhausting routine is tolerable. You tolerate so well that people assume you're okay. But 2026 makes that word, tolerate, lose its sweetness. You'll start feeling, this kind of tolerating is me bleeding a little every day. And at some point you'll ask, wait, why am I tolerating this? That's pivot signal #1, when you stop trying to convince yourself. Let me be clear, 2026 gives you 3 major pivot points. And I'll tell them as real-life scenarios, so you'll instantly recognize them. Pivot point 1. Pivot out of autopilot living. There are things in your life that are fine, but they don't make you happy anymore. It's like wearing a shirt that fit perfectly 3 years ago. You can still wear it, but it doesn't make you look good anymore. You can survive, but you don't feel like you're actually living your life. 2026 will expose these kinds of fine situations. A steady job, nothing wrong, but you're not growing. A stable routine, but you're always quietly tired. A relationship with, nothing bad, but no truth, no choosing, no future. And the pivot here doesn't have to mean quitting, breaking up, or flipping your whole life. The pivot here is, change how you operate. Change how you manage time. Change how you set boundaries. Change how you speak needs. Change how you choose priorities. The pivot question for this point is, if I keep living like this for the next 12 months, will I be happier? If the answer is no, you already know. Pivot. Pivot point 2. Pivot out of old safety, clinging out of fear. Taurus loves safety. That's not wrong. But there's a kind of safety that's exhausting. Safety because you're scared to change, not safety because you have a foundation. 2026 teaches you a new kind of safety. New safety looks like a new skills, a plan B, an emergency fund, quality relationships, real boundaries. When you have those, you don't cling to what you have out of fear anymore. You keep it because you choose it. Huge difference. And usually this pivot shows up in career and money. You'll naturally want to optimize. You'll notice what makes you too dependent on one income source, one toxic environment, one unclear person. And you'll start wanting to untangle that dependency. The correct pivot here is, don't jump recklessly. Prepare quietly. When Taurus prepares, you prepare beautifully. You learn. You update your CV. You test interviews. You build side income. You save. And then, when you're strong enough, you pivot once, smoothly. The pivot question for this point is, am I staying because it's right, or because I'm scared of lacking? If it's fear of lacking, pivot toward building a foundation, not toward running away. Pivot point 3. Pivot out of the loop. Tired, treat empty. This is a very everyday pivot, but it's powerful. Because it hits your money, your health, and your mood. A lot of Taurus people survive like this. When I'm tired, I treat myself. Good food, shopping, cute little purchases, anything to make life feel softer. Not wrong. But if it becomes a habit, it becomes a background app that drains both energy and money. 2026 will make you notice. Why do I keep treating myself, but I'm still exhausted? Because the problem isn't lack of treats. The problem is lack of rhythm. The right pivot here is, instead of treating yourself after you crash, you care for yourself before you crash. Sleep properly. Eat kindly. Walk 15 minutes. Cut the drama. Set boundaries. Do small, steady things without guilt. The pivot question for this point is, will what I'm about to buy make me lighter for the next 30 days? If it only makes you feel good for 30 minutes, then leaves you empty, skip it. Okay, those are the 3 major pivot points. Now let's talk about how Taurus pivots, because you pivot differently than most people. Taurus pivots best with 3 rules. Rule 1, test small first, don't go all in. You don't need to switch careers instantly. Try a small project. Learn a small skill. Change one process. Shift one habit. Small tests keep you calm and give you results fast. Rule 2, measure results with data. You trust numbers? So pivot by tracking money, energy, productivity, mood. Not complicated, just enough to see, did I sleep better this month? Spend less? Work smoother? Data makes you believe. Belief makes you continue. Rule 3, pivot to flow, not pivot to fight. Taurus doesn't love conflict. But pivoting isn't fighting. Pivoting is choosing again. You change your schedule, your words, your method, your people, your environment, if needed. But you do it calmly. And that calm pivot is the grown Taurus power. Here's a pivot map across 4 life areas so you can self-check. 1. Pivot in work. Signs you need to pivot. You do a lot but don't move up. You're carrying everyone. You're not seen. You feel stuck. Right pivot. Visibility, a 1 core skill. A negotiator with data trier. 2. Pivot in money. Signs you need to pivot. Emotional spending. No emergency fund. Money anxiety even with stable income. Right pivot. 3 funds. Go. Stop leaks. Add 1 small steady side flow. 3. Pivot in love. 1. Signs you need to pivot. Mixed signals, no clarity, you keep guessing, you endure too much. Right pivot. Boundaries, early honesty, choose consistency. 4. Pivot in health. Signs you need to pivot. Low-grade fatigue, shallow sleep, sugar cravings, heaviness, irrational irritability. Right pivot. Minimum rhythm, sleep, food, movement, early stress release. Okay, I'll end chunk 2 with a very Taurus practical line. You don't need to pivot a lot. You just need to pivot correctly. 1 correct pivot, clearer work, steadier money, lighter love, better energy, and the whole year runs smoother. And remember this too, pivoting isn't because you failed. Pivoting is because you matured. You pivot to live by your new values. You pivot to stop draining yourself. You pivot so your life actually belongs to you. Alright, chunk 2 ends here. In chunk 3, we'll talk communication. How Taurus 2026 speaks to get things done, speaks to be loved, speaks to stop enduring, and especially how you show results without sounding like you're bragging. Okay, Taurus, chunk 3 is communication. And the moment you hear communication, a lot of Taurus people take 1 step back, right? Because you're not the talkative type. You don't love long explanations. You hate feeling like you have to present yourself to be understood. You'd rather do it well and let the results speak. But 2026 says it straight. Results don't speak if you never bring them into the light. And communication this year isn't about becoming smooth talking. Taurus communication in 2026 is about protecting yourself from being shortchanged, exhausted, and overlooked, so you get what you actually deserve. This is very practical. Very new OS. I split communication into 3 systems. Communication at work, raise your value, stop carrying. Communication in love, clear love, no silent distancing. Communication with yourself, stop self-deception. System 1, communication at work, show results without bragging. Taurus doing good work is normal. The issue is, you do it quietly. And if you stay quiet long enough, people don't remember. Especially in busy environments with multiple projects, everyone's overwhelmed, everyone only sees what's visible. So if you don't make your results visible, they disappear. In 2026, you learn a skill called subtle visibility. Not bragging, reporting at the right time. Keep it ridiculously simple, with a 5-line weekly update. What I accomplished this week. 1, 2 lines. What impact it had, numbers output. Any issue that came up, if any. How I handled it. What I'll do next week. Send it once a week to your lead manager team. That's it. And watch what happens. People start seeing you as the axis holder, the person who makes things run smoothly. The axis holder is hard to replace. And hard to replace means easier promotions, easier raises. Another Taurus-friendly move. After each project, write a short before vs after. Before, 2 days. After, 4 hours. Before, X% error. After, Y% y. Before, messy process. After, checklist. Taurus speaking in numbers is insanely convincing. Now, the most important part. Boundary communication at work. You tend to carry tasks because you don't trust others to do it right, or you're scared people will think you're not supportive. But if you keep carrying, you burn out. So you learn one simple sentence. Okay, I can take this. But so I can do it well, can we lock in priorities, deadlines, and what I'm allowed to drop or postpone? Yeah, see, when you're not refusing, you're redefining. Mature professionals define priorities. Taurus is built for that. System 2. Communication and love. Speak early before you store it up. Taurus loves for the long run. You don't want fight. You want peace. But the trap is, you choose peace by going silent. Silence becomes storage. Storage becomes coldness. Coldness becomes distance. And when you finally leave, the other person goes, wait, why so suddenly? It wasn't sudden. It was months of swallowing. 2026 teaches you a new love language. Speak early, speak directly, but speak softly. Soft doesn't mean weak. It means non-attacking. Use this 3-step structure. 1. Turn. What I'm feeling, emotion. 2. Because of what specific thing, behavior, event. 3. What I need, what I propose, solution. Example. I feel anxious. Because the last few days you've been disappearing in replies. I need us to be clear about our communication rhythm so I don't have to guess. None. Clear, but not dramatic. And Taurus, one big thing, don't use silence to test someone. A lot of Taurus people do. Let's see if they care, so they go quiet. But silence is a toxic weapon. It kills trust. Mature love doesn't test through silence. Mature love says, I need this. In 2026, your love upgrades if you can say these 2 lines. I'm saying this so we understand each other, not to fight. I need clarity. I don't need perfection. Those 2 lines save relationships. If you're single, your most important communication is setting standards from the start. Not, be rich, be hot. Standards like, clear, consistent, respectful of boundaries. Don't be afraid to say, I need clarity. If you're not ready, let's say it early so we don't waste time. Coming from Taurus, that sounds expensive, in a good way. It shows you value your time and worth. System 3. Communication with yourself. Kill the fog with the right questions. Taurus's hardest communication isn't with others. It's with yourself. Because you're good at convincing yourself, you can live in not okay for a long time because you endure well, and you don't want change. 2026 makes you talk to yourself brutally honestly. Whenever you hesitate, ask 2 questions. Question 1. Am I choosing this because it's the right direction, or because I'm scared of lacking? Fear of lacking drives so many bad Taurus decisions. Fear of lacking money, love, opportunity, safety. If you notice fear, pause, and return to building foundation. Question 2. Will this serve me in the next 30 days? Use it for everything. Spending, taking extra tasks, staying in a relationship, chasing an opportunity. If it only makes you feel good for 30 minutes, then leaves you empty. That's compensation, not construction. And to make self-communication easier, here's a Taurus ritual that's simple and effective. Once a week, take 10 minutes to do a weekly review. Weekly review. What I did well this week. Where I leaked. Money, energy, time. One small thing I'll fix next week. Taurus fixing one small thing every week. 1 year later, you're a different person. Okay, I'll close chunk 3 with 3 communication mantras for Taurus 2026. Memorize them. Use them when needed. 1. Let's lock in priorities and deadlines. Use at work, so you don't get dumped on. 2. I'm saying this so we understand each other, not to fight. Use in love so you can be honest without war. Guy. Am I choosing this because it's the right direction, or because I'm scared of lacking? Use with yourself so you stop fooling yourself. Taurus, communication doesn't make you weaker. The right communication gets you respected. And when you're respected, you naturally get less tired, less anxious, and you stop having to push just a little more. Alright, chunk 3 ends here. In chunk 4, we'll go into attraction relationships. Why the steadier you are in 2026, the more magnetic you become. How you love without controlling, and how you choose the right person, the one who matches your upgraded values. Okay, Taurus, chunk 4 is attraction relationships. And it sounds like romance, but honestly, it's your whole life vibe in 2026. Because Taurus attraction isn't about sweet talk or being entertaining. Your magnetism is simple, you're solid. When you're solid, people trust you. When people trust you, they want to be close. And 2026 upgrades your solid, so you'll notice, you don't have to try so hard, and you still pull. But because you attract through stability, you'll also face a very Taurus-specific situation. People love how safe you feel. You become their shelter, the place they don't have to grow up. And if you have boundaries, you end up carrying both their emotions and their life. 26 doesn't allow that anymore. This year, your magnetism comes with a new standard. Be loved, but not drained. I'll break this into 3 parts. 1. When you're most attractive. 2. The relationship traps you're likely to fall into. 3. How you choose and build relationships in 2026. 4. When are you most attractive? Taurus is most attractive when you're not chasing anyone. Sounds a bit cool, but it's true. The more you chase, the more you lose value. The calmer you stay, the more you pull. 2026 teaches you this. Attraction doesn't come from trying to make someone like you. Attraction comes from living your values. You sleep right. You eat right. You work with rhythm. You spend with intention. You speak clearly. You don't do mixed signals. And suddenly you have an aura like, this person is reliable. And reliability is grown-up sexy. Especially in 2026, when you build systems around money and career, something shifts. The way you speak changes. You beg less. You fear less. You prove less. You simply choose. And people feel that. 2. Taurus relationship traps in 2026. Let me be blunt. Taurus has 3 classic traps, and 2026 will show them to you clearly. Trap 1. Staying because it's familiar, not because it's right. You're great at long roads. But sometimes you stay long because you're scared of starting over. You fear emptiness. You fear losing stable. So you stay in something stable, but lacking love, truth, and future. 2026 will make you see, stability without truth still exhausts you. Sign you're in this trap. You're not excited anymore, but you don't leave. You drag. You endure. You start living on whatever. Trap 2. Feeding someone with your stability. You care. You nurture. You build home. But some people love you because you make life easy for them, not because they want to build with you. They like what you give, but they won't take responsibility for the relationship. And if you're not awake, you become the carrier. Sign you're in this trap. You give a lot, you get tired, and then you blame yourself. Maybe I'm asking for too much. No. You're asking for fairness. Trap 3. Mixed signals that hook you into the feeling. Taurus thinks they hate ambiguity, and you do. But sometimes you still get pulled in by it because it creates that chosen sometimes feeling. It's stimulating. It makes you think. And once Taurus gets hooked, you try to stabilize the other person. But ambiguous people don't want stability. They want freedom and to be cared for. 2026 doesn't match this. This year's standard is Clear, consistent, respectful of boundaries. 3. And how to choose and build relationships in 2026. Let's talk about the new Taurus 2026 type. Not hairstyle, not looks, energy type. You're best matched with someone who has 3 qualities. Clarity. They know what they want, and they can say it. Consistency. You don't have to guess. They don't vanish. They don't run hot and cold. Responsibility. They don't dump emotions onto you. They can handle their own life. Remember, responsible doesn't mean problem-free. Everyone has issues. Responsible means they're willing to work through issues with you, not make you carry them. If you're single, 2026 is the year to do a very Taurus thing: filter early. Filter fast, so you don't waste time. And filtering isn't detective work. Filtering is watching actions. They said they'd meet. Did they keep it? They're busy. Do they inform you in advance? You say you need clarity. Do they respect it? You set a boundary. Do they guilt trip you? That alone avoids 80% of drama. If you're in a relationship, 2026 is the year you upgrade the love contract. Sounds business, but Taurus actually loves this. And no, it's not paperwork. It's agreement on 3 things. 1. Shared rhythm, how we love, meet, care for each other. 2. Money and future direction, not every detail, but same direction. 3. Boundaries. What's not okay, and what we'll do if it happens. The clearer you speak this year, the calmer you feel. The more you avoid it, the more you worry. And here's the most valuable point of Chunk 4, love without control. Taurus doesn't control by jealousy. You control by certainty. You want things clear, stable, predictable. That's not wrong. But if certainty becomes pressure, the other person chokes. And you choke too, because you have to monitor everything. 2026 teaches you to shift from control to boundaries. Control is, you must. Boundaries are, if this happens, I will. See the difference? Boundaries are your power. You don't need to force someone to change. You choose your action to protect yourself. Examples. If you keep being ambiguous, I'll step back. If I keep carrying everything, I'll name it and rebalance it. If we're not moving in the same direction, I won't keep dragging it. When you speak like that, you feel lighter. People get clearer. And whatever can't be clear, falls off by itself. Less time wasted. Okay, closing Chunk 4 with a very real line for Taurus 2026. You don't need a love that makes you worry less for one day. You need a love that makes you worry less for a lifetime. And this year, you'll choose by that line. Or you'll reshape your current relationship by that line. You don't stay because you're scared. You stay because it's right. And when you live right, your magnetism becomes something nobody can copy. Alright, Chunk 4 ends here. In Chunk 5, we'll go into career decisions, how you lock your direction in 2026, how you negotiate, and how you raise your value without grinding yourself into exhaustion. Okay, Taurus, Chunk 5 is the very real and very important part, career decisions. And I'll say this up front, 2026 isn't the year you do more just to prove you're hardworking. 2026 is the year you raise your value. In a grown-up way, right work, right direction, right systems, and the right recognition. Taurus doesn't like chaotic jumping. You like long roads. Predictable paths. But sometimes your long road becomes a trap. You stay too long in a place that no longer helps you grow. You do so well that people get used to it, they assume it, and your excellence becomes normal. Then when you ask for a raise or a bigger role, they go. 2026 doesn't let you get stuck like that anymore. This year, your career revolves around 3 major decisions. If you lock these 3, the whole year runs smooth. Decision 1. Stay and upgrade, or pivot away? Before you decide, stay or leave, 2026 makes you face this question. Does this place increase my value, or does it only train me to endure? 3 signs you're staying out of habit. You're not trying. You do a lot, but don't level up. No bigger scope, no more power, no more money. 2. Way you carry. People dump things on you because you're reliable. Fine. On the times. You're not learning anything new, you're repeating. If you see yourself in 2 out of 3, then you either renegotiate the system where you are, or you quietly prepare to pivot. But Taurus doesn't pivot in a rage. You pivot beautifully, quietly, strategically. You don't need to run. You need to build a plan B. And here's the mantra of the year. Don't change jobs because you hate it. Change because of direction. Hate makes you decide wrong. Direction makes you decide right. Decision 2. What core skill becomes your lever? If Taurus wants to raise value in 2026, you need a lever skill. A lever is one thing you learn that pulls your whole career upward. You don't need 10 skills. You need one backbone skill. And that skill needs 2 criteria. Measurable output, a certificate, portfolio, project, case study. A negotiable value. I can do this, I can solve this problem. Here are 3 practical Taurus-friendly groups. Group A, speed and quality. Tools, automation, AI support, data reporting, process optimization, solid documentation, project management. This makes you faster, sharper, and turns you into a system fixer. Group B, promotion power. Leadership skills, stakeholder management, power communication, presentations, people management, decision-making. Taurus often has strong expertise, but hates showing. This helps you step into bigger roles while staying calm and grounded. Group C, Plan B. Freelance side income based on strengths, consulting, teaching, packaged services, digital products. Plan B reduces fear. Less fear, better choices. Once you choose your backbone skill, add one more thing. Evidence. Taurus, with evidence, becomes instantly confident. Decision 3. Renegotiate salary. Scope, title. This is where many Taurus people hesitate. You don't want to sound demanding, but 2026 is the year you demand correctly. And demanding correctly isn't emotional, it's data-driven. Here's a 4-step negotiation script built for Taurus. 1. Achievements. What you delivered, what impact, numbers help. 2. Money. Role. Where you exceeded scope, what you carried. 3. Market range, a reasonable benchmark. 4. Proposal. What you want, salary, scope, title, plus a timeline. Speak in business language. Short. Die. Solid. Die. That vibe earns respect. One crucial thing. Before negotiation, you need visibility. If you stay quiet all year and suddenly ask for more, people get surprised. So you play the 2026 strategy. 1 short weekly update, 1 impact note per project. By the time you negotiate, your value has already been seen. Now let's talk about the biggest career trap for Taurus this year, carrying work because you don't trust others to do it as well. You do great work. You're responsible. You hate errors. But this can turn you into the team's carrier. And when you carry too long, you lose the time to learn, grow, and do strategic work. You end up firefighting. 2026 upgrades you from get it done to get it right. And to get it right, you need 3 sentences. Let's lock priorities first. A. I can do this, but I'll need more time, resources. This isn't in my scope. Let's clarify and reassign. That's not laziness. That's professionalism. And professionalism raises value. Here are 2 clean 2026 paths. Pick the one you're living. Path 1. Stay, but upgrade hard. You stay because there's still opportunity. But you don't stay in endurance mode. You stay in upgrade mode. Learn your backbone skill. Increase visibility. Unrenegotiate scope. Stop carrying the team. Lock a 6-12-month roadmap. Do this right, and your role levels up clearly this year. Path 2. Pivot. But pivot beautifully. Quiet preparation. In 1 I'm update, CV portfolio. In test interviews. Build, savings. Decide only when you have an offer. No reckless jumping. Just a plan. This is Taurus pivoting at its best. No drama, only results. Okay, closing chunk 5 with one line. 2026 isn't the year you prove you're hardworking. It's the year you prove you have value. Hardworking can be done for a season. High value is impact, systems, skills, proof, and boundaries. If you do that, you won't just get a better career. You'll get an easier life. Because when career feels stable, Taurus finally breathes. Alright, chunk 5 ends here. In chunk 6, I'll give you the 4 Seasons Action Plan, a full year runbook by seasons. Spring sets the foundation, summer raises your value, autumn resets and filters, winter closes deals and harvests. You'll know exactly what to do when. Okay, Taurus, chunk 6 is my favorite because it's basically hands-on execution, the 4 Seasons Action Plan. You'll finish this and know exactly what to do in each phase of 2026. No more sounds good, but where do I start? And one more reminder, Taurus wins through consistency, not hype. So I designed this as each season a few backbone moves. Do them right, and the whole year runs smooth. I call 2026 the year you upgrade your comfort zone. So these 4 seasons revolve around the 3 OS pillars: values, money, boundaries, plus one more pillar: career. Think of it as 4 system updates. Each season runs on the foundation of the previous one. Spring, months 1-3, set the foundation, clean the system. Spring for Taurus 2026 isn't for sprinting. Spring is for cleaning. Cleaning what? The stuff running in the background that keeps you tired. 4 things you must do this season, straight up. Task 1, clean your money house. You don't need to be rich immediately. You need to be clear immediately. Spring is when you set 3 core funds: a living fund, fixed costs; safety fund, an emergency buffer; growth fund, learning, skills, upgrades. Start small. Even a fixed tiny amount into the safety fund monthly is enough. The point is the feeling, I'm holding the steering wheel again. When Taurus holds the wheel, your mind calms down instantly. Task 2, lock one career goal for the year. A lot of Taurus people stay vague like, I want things better. 2026 doesn't allow vague. Choose one clear sentence. Raise my salary. Get promoted. And change jobs. Reduce stress, but increase output. Pick one. Don't be greedy. Taurus with too many goals gets discouraged fast. Task 3. Set a minimum health rhythm. No need for 6 gym sessions a week. You just need a minimum rhythm. Sleep on time 4 days a week. And walk 15 minutes day, or move 3 times a week. Protein greens in each meal. If you set this in spring, you avoid the slow burnout all year. Task 4. Install one boundary early. Choose one single boundary to practice. At work, don't accept extra tasks without locking priorities. In love, don't accept ambiguity. With family friends, don't let people pull you into drama. Choose one. Boundaries are like the gym. You build them through repetition. By the end of spring, you'll feel it, life starts running on a system. Summer, months 4-6. Raise your value. Speak clearly, stop leaks. Summer is when Taurus starts speeding up. This is where you increase value and turn good into seen. Task 1. Learn your backbone skill, create proof. No random learning this season. One lever skill only. And it must produce output, a project, case study, portfolio, certificate. Because 2026 is the year you rise through evidence, not through effort alone. Task 2. Switch on work visibility. This is your show results without bragging season. 1 5-line weekly update. 1 impact note per project. Do it consistently for 2, 3 months, and people naturally label you as the axis holder. Task 3. Stop leaks money energy. Summer is when you're more likely to stress and treat yourself. Use the 24-hour rule for non-essentials. Use the lock priorities rule at work so you don't carry. Release stress early through rhythm. Don't wait until you crash. Task 4. Have the real talk in love. This season is perfect for upgrading the love contract, shared rhythm, future direction, boundaries. Remember, speak early and it's light. Speak late and it becomes a fight. By the end of summer, it feels amazing. Life stops dragging you, you start steering life. Autumn, month 7-9, mid-year reset filter, live the right rhythm. Autumn is crucial. This is where you decide what stays, what goes. The more mature Taurus gets, the better you are at filtering. And filtering is wealth. Wealth of time, wealth of energy, wealth of life quality. Task 1. Reset priorities. Ask, in the last 6 months, what made me grow? What drained me? Keep what grows you. Cut what drains you. Don't overattach. Taurus clinging is how you get stuck. Task 2. Filter your circle. Autumn is when you choose work, allies, real friends, quality relationships. You don't need many people. You need the right people. Right EA respects your boundaries, respects your values, and acts responsibly. Task 3. Upgrade your life system. Adjust schedule, habits, work style. If you're slipping, return to minimum rhythm, sleep, food, movement. Remember, health is the foundation. Without it, everything collapses. By the end of autumn, you'll feel lighter, because you're not carrying what never belonged to you. Winter, months 10-12, close deals, harvest, reward with intention. Winter is very Taurus. Close the books. Close money, close work, close love, close lessons. Task 1. Negotiate your career. If you've built visibility and proof, this is the perfect season to negotiate salary scope title. Use the formula. Achievements. Role. Market range. When. Proposal. Speak short. Speak solid. Speak with data. Task 2. Review through the OS lens. Recheck the 3 pillars. Aim values. Am I living more aligned? Money. Do I have a system now? Boundaries. Am I enduring less? You'll be surprised. Taurus changes quietly, but when you look back it's like, wait, I actually became different. Task 3. Reward with a plan. Taurus loves rewards, and you deserve them. But 2026 rewards don't break the system. Have a fun fund. Spend from it. When it's done, it's done. Reward without guilt. Reward without anxiety. By the end of winter, you step into 2027 with a strong foundation. Okay? Closing chunk 6 with a declaration for Taurus, 2026. Treat it like a mantra. Spring, I clean and set the foundation. Summer, I raise my value and become visible. Autumn, I filter and live the right rhythm. Winter, I close, deals, and harvest. Taurus 2026 won't make you loud. 2026 will make you expensive. Expensive because you have systems. Expensive because you choose well. Expensive because you stop draining yourself.